Welcome to On the John.
Okay, party people, welcome to On the John. I'm your host, John, and today we're going to be talking about the Sony PlayStation 5 Future of Gaming show that just live streamed less than an hour ago. This video is going to be less formal because I want to get my immediate impressions out. After I have a few days to process my thoughts, my buddy David and I will be discussing our takes in depth over on our podcast, RPJeez, where you will be able to find them wherever we post it, everywhere. YouTube, anywhere else I can come up with that'll accept it. It's gonna be our first episode. It should be very exciting. Without further ado, let's get talking. So it opened up with Rockstar Games, and my first instinct is like, all right, cool, strong opener. You know, we love Grand Theft Auto. It's gonna be great. Then it went straight into it's just Grand Theft Auto 5, but with I guess more content. Kind of a weak start in my opinion. I think out of all the games to follow, that may not have been what I opened the showcase with, but I mean, I'm not Sony, so who knows. It went to a lot of first party, which I'm fine with. I mean, they're revealing their console makes sense, and they have third party games. We already know this, so PlayStation Studios is a fine thing for me. Opening up with Spider-Man Miles Morales, the PS4 Sony Spider-Man sequel, I assume. It looked like it was the same Miles, sounded like it was the same Peter. Which, holy cow, that got my blood pumping. I was really excited for that. We saw 2 seconds of web swinging, which was fine. A little bit of like hints of things to expect and more, but I mean, it gave you a taste. You kind of already know what to expect if it's going to be anything like the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game. It's going to be fantastic web swinging, lots of fun, hopefully lots of costumes, good gameplay, you know, great post-launch content. I expect nothing but good things for it. Here I am going to say I'm going to start grading based on trailers and what I personally expected. I'm going to be honest, this is incredibly biased. I have certain genres I love and certain genres not so much, and that will definitely be reflected. Also, certain titles that are already going to get a higher grade for me because they're my main staple titles. Having said that, so Spider-Man out the gate, I gave it an A just because I expect good things from it, and I kind of, you know, they've proven themselves to me already, so universe willing, we should get more good things out of that. The second game they showed was Gran Turismo 7. That to me is a staple PlayStation title. It is a staple launch title. The whole trailer felt very launch title to me. That's not a bad thing. It really didn't show too much. It showed you first person in the car. Not my favorite view, but I'll take it. It looked gorgeous. I'm really excited. You know, recently just got this 4K TV, so I'm very excited to see once I get my hands on a PS5, whenever that is. Everything in all its splendor. The game looked really good. David is admittedly a bigger Gran Turismo fan than I am, so I'm very excited to hear his take on that. After that, they got me right excited again because I am a huge Ratchet and Clank fan, and the second they dropped a new Ratchet and Clank trailer for me, I was invested. I was in. They got me. Gran Turismo got a C because again, not my cup of tea. Ratchet and Clank got a B for me. At first, it was crazy. It was all this like. At first, we were like, is it time hopping? Is it dimension hopping? What is going on here? Ultimately, it's dimensions. Just more so than the cinematic, because the setting, it's a Ratchet and Clank game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be goofy. It's going to be enjoyable, if it's anything like the previous ones. One area it did grab me was when they did show the gameplay. And you'll notice in a lot of my things, showing of gameplay, unless I'm really biased, and we're getting there soon, means a lot. It's wonderful to show me these pretty images and these cinematic trailers. It gets me invested for the story if I'm already invested in the story. If it's not a title that I have story knowledge investment in, which we'll see with a lot of the newer titles they announced, I'm rating it less because hook me with the gameplay, not with the pretty cinematic things. Having said that, the running and gunning looks as good as it ever did. There's the radial weapon switching was so crisp and quick. I enjoyed that. Again, they're showing us the best for the showcase's sake, but it looked really satisfying. It looked very fun. Some of the new weapons looked really cool. I do enjoy the story for Ratchet and Clank, so I am interested. I want to know what's going on with that female Ratchet. What's up with that? Dimension, so that's probably what's up with that. But yeah, it looks really fun. I'm excited to get my hands on that. Then I screamed. And there will be a couple times where I screamed during this showcase. For anyone who follows my Twitch, we're currently doing the Year of Final Fantasy. Linked in the section below if you want to check us out. It's a lot of fun. We're currently playing through Final Fantasy 2. What's the Year of Final Fantasy? That's me going through all the Final Fantasy titles. Most I've beaten, some I haven't, and I'm excited to finally check those off my list. Currently, we're very frustrated in Final Fantasy 2, so come check it out. It's a lot of fun. Plug over into this. So the second Luminous Productions came on the screen, I got excited, then cautious. Why? Luminous Productions is Hajime Tabata's studio that he made post 15. Final Fantasy 15 is a bit of a divisive game for me, whereas the first half I adore. The second half is Final Fantasy 13 levels of hallway, where I just felt bad for everybody the whole time. Chapter 13, I'm in the minority. I really liked that because it made me think of Resident Evil. Hint for something coming up that was very exciting for me. But the trailer, it's Square Enix, it's Luminous Productions. I'm giving what I'm calling a cautious B+. I expect good things from it. I don't know if I'm going to receive good things from it, but I am, a Square Enix fanboy, but not to the point where I can't criticize them, not to the point that I can't scrutinize their mistakes. I see where their errors are and I see where their strengths are. So it looks very interesting. The little flavors of gameplay we got were very interesting to me, but how she can control elements and it's very acrobatic movement made me kind of think of warp striking, but not warp striking. You can kind of see flavors of their previous work where they've taken what they know and they've expanded on it, and that is a positive for me. I'm hoping where Tabata gets more control over his project, where the studio is, where Square Enix's wallets aren't so much, they've been waiting for this game for a decade, we gotta push it out, it's gotta be all these things, but also we want to milk it like the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, we want to milk it like Final Fantasy X-2. It's a big thing, and it just never lives up to the expectations. So I'm hoping that with his own production studio and more control, that we'll get a much better game, because I did like Type 0. So it's not like he doesn't create good content. I know, have your opinions on Type 0. I liked it. But yeah, so I'm interested to see where this is going. I need to see more. That's what I want. That's what I walked away from this for. I need to see more. The next trailer was for a very interesting title called Stray, where you play as a cat after humanity, I guess, died, went extinct, and robots kind of took our place. There's one part in it where there was a sign that said "No cats allowed," so I'm curious if that's going to be relevant or come into play at any point. Not a whole lot to say. The cat was adorable. I'm very into the idea of playing as a cat. It made me think of a game. I don't know where this game is popping in my head. I'll have to look it up, and if I do, I'll blurb it in. But it's some VR cat fantasy game. I might be losing my mind. I might be making it up. Anyway, got a B. Looked very interesting. I would want to see more gameplay, but the premise got me interested. I have weird opinions, so please bear with me. Next was for a title called Returnal. Returnal looked very interesting to me. It jumped all over the place between, at first I thought it was going to be psychological horror, then I guess it maybe going to be roguelike, then it got really over the shoulder shoot 'em up. It looked very dynamic. I'm going to say that word a lot. I like the word dynamic. Very interesting. I'm digging its aesthetic. I'm digging what they're giving me. And again, it's another one of those that left me hungry for more. But was not really in my... I don't think it made it into my top 6, which I will outline at the bottom. Okay, so I am a big Sony fan. That's my preferred console of choice. Sorry for the major Nintendo fans, and sorry for any major Xbox fans. Not to say I dislike anything. Console-wise for Nintendo, not the biggest fan of Xbox. They keep ignoring the titles I like, so what can I say? But I've never been a particularly big fan of Little Big Planet, is what I'm getting at. I am a Sony fanboy, but I'm not a big fan of I have a niche. I have certain aspects of games I enjoy, certain I don't. Little Big Planet was never a big one for me. Sackboy: A Big Adventure made me question certain things, because it feels also, like Gran Turismo, it feels very launch title for me. Like, oh, we're coming out with a new PlayStation. We've gotta have a Little Big Planet. Except this time, we're not calling it Little Big Planet. It's gonna be Sackboy: A Big Adventure. And immediately I thought, did they get rid of the customization? Because that entire trailer made me think, oh, this looks like a cool isometric angle. Is lots of platforming. Alright, it looks like a Little Big Planet game, but I saw nothing in terms of customization or anything like that. So I question if that's going to be included. I mean, 4-player co-op, we weren't surprised by anything with that. Little Big Planet for me, Sackboy: A Big Adventure for me just got a C, a solid C. Oh, Returnal got a B, because I really dug the aesthetic. I'm really bad at this, I might have to edit some. Another game that I just kind of nothinged. C is if I give it a solid C, it just means I kind of nothinged to the game. It didn't resonate with me. Destruction All Stars looks like this. Destruction Derby, I guess, kind of similar to, I don't know, like a little bit of Rocket League, a little bit of Fortnite flair to it. I thought it was cool that you could get out of the cars and cause destruction, or be in the cars and cause destruction. Like, I assume if your car blows up, you're gonna have to get into another car or something. Really, it did nothing for me. I was like, this is pretty. Maybe it'll be cool. Maybe it won't. Not big for me. I got a middle of the road C. I just kind of nothing did. Kena: Bridge of Spirits. This reminded me of a lot of pretty action platformers from the PlayStation 2 era. Like, I'm thinking like Primal. Other ones might come to mind at some point. But it was very... this is not a bad thing. It caught my attention immediately. It looked very charming. Looked a little Pikmin-y with the controlling of the spirits and getting them to do certain things. I'm interested to see how more of that'll play out. Otherwise, the standard combat, I saw her switching between a staff and a bow. It looks like the weapon contorts to what you're wanting it to be. Had some close range melee. I'd like to see more of it. Maybe play a demo before I get real opinions. But it caught my attention. I liked the aesthetic. The character is very interesting. I don't know if this is a sequel, because it sounded like I should know the protagonist when they were talking to them. Because like, oh, you're powerless here. And I'm like, okay. Cool. Don't know what that means for her, but great. But it looked fun. So that got a solid B for me. Showed a good amount of story, so I have a rudimentary idea of what's going on. And it gave me a lot of gameplay, which I enjoyed getting to see. So, like I said before, I have certain genres I quite like, and certain ones I don't. Whatever's going on in Goodbye Volcano High really didn't resonate with me. It made me kind of think of like Life is Strange but less exciting. It looked like a lot of games that I would pay $5 for on Steam that I don't buy. Come lumped in with my Humble Bundles or something. I love dinosaurs. That was exciting for a second. Don't know why Triceratops has hair, but that's cool. Listen, man, your design, your game, you do you. But it was very much not my type of game. It really didn't resonate with me. I was just kind of like, at that point, I kind of checked out. So I gave it a D. I'm like, I just was not for me. Then came Oddworld Soulstorm. I love me some Oddworld though, and I kind of had known that this was coming. Not that they were announcing it, but that there was an Oddworld sequel in the works. One of the things I really enjoyed about that is it looked like it was Oddworld, but ramped up to 500%. Like it was, we're gonna take Oddworld and throw in an action movie with explosions everywhere and it's high octane crazy. Which I don't know if the two concepts marry perfectly, but I dug what I saw. It looked very interesting. It looked really fun to play. Oddworld Soulstorm, I gave it a solid B+. Not a lot much more to say. It looked like a lot of just good old Oddworld fun, but ramped up with high octane action. I digged it. This was one of my favorite games that I saw, Ghostwire Tokyo. That was supposed to, I think it was announced last year at E3. We might have to fact check that. But it's definitely a game we had heard from before. The second I saw Shinji Mikami show up, I was really excited. It looks really cool. I love Tokyo, having like just when I got to go visit and everything. So I'm already a big fan of Tokyo as a setting, such as like Persona 5 and whatnot, Digimon Cyber Sleuth. It looks so much fun. I wasn't expecting first person, but I was happy with it. At first I thought it was going to be more horror. It looks more action with like sprinkling of horrors. A description I gave it was like Onmyoji Doom. Like you're doing hand seals and like key bursts and stuff and fighting yokai and stuff. So it looked really cool, really interesting. That caught my attention and held it the whole trailer. I'm very excited to see what Ghostwire Tokyo has to offer when that does come out. I gave it an A. Like I said, there's certain aspects where I'm very biased. Next came The Far Shore. Really, again, it did nothing for me. I remember at one point in the trailer commenting, it's like, it took them 5 years to get that far from the planet. I really don't know. The trailer really didn't give me anything. I saw a rocket really far away moving at a diagonal, and I was like, is that gameplay? Or is it a loading screen? Like, I really no idea what to take from it. Just gave it a C, kind of nothing did. Next up came a game I was kind of surprised that I was in, like, it caught my attention and looked really fun to me, and that was Godfall. I'm a big sucker for lion aesthetic, so lion armor with a shield and a sword with really dynamic looking combat. I was in. Sign me up. I like over the shoulder combat. I enjoy that. It's kind of made me think of Smite. Maybe I'm off base on that, but it made me think of Smite. I didn't really see much of a HUD, like a user interface, so I'm curious how that's gonna play with the game, what it's gonna look like. It looked just like a beat 'em up to me. I don't know if that means it's gonna be like a 3D MOBA or if it's gonna be like a Musou game or something like that. But the armors looked crazy cool. The combat looked really interesting. It's one of those, I don't know, maybe if I looked at it on paper I would have been like, but the trailer really caught me, so I gave it a B+. We'll see how that progresses. I would like to see more information. Next is a game that I thought was very pretty, but they showed like 2 seconds of gameplay. So when they said Hyper Light Drifter, I was like, all right, cool, you got me, I'm in. This, I'm already invested. And then it went to behind the back third-person perspective, and I was like, okay, cool. So I was really expecting to see some craziness, some exciting like gameplay, and then it looked like the gameplay was about to start, and then the trailer ended. So that rubbed me the wrong way, kind of disappointed me. So I gave it a C+. It would be higher if I saw more gameplay. It looked at one point towards the end like it was going from 3D and switching into 2D, which could be very cool. But yeah, so I want to see more. Next came Hitman 3. That got a solid B from me. It's Hitman. I mean, I don't have much else to contribute in that regard. It's Hitman. I was surprised we didn't already have a Hitman 3 because I felt like this point we had. It is a game I really like to see really skilled people play at. I personally am garbage at the game, but I love watching good players play it. I'm a voyeuristic gamer when it comes like that. If it's a game that I don't particularly have the skills for, but when you see somebody really good just like tear it apart, it's a good time in my book. Little Devil Inside. B? It looked interesting. It looked fun. Are you inside the old man? Is that what's going on there? I jokingly called it. I was like, it's Monster Hunter Go. Like, because I had that aesthetic of Tomb Raider Go. Really cel shady, really non-realistic, simple aesthetic. But it looked interesting. It looked really fun. It looked very charming. The trailer really confused. Like, are you inside the old man for it? I gave it a B because the gameplay looked interesting, but I'm very confused. This kind of snags back on titles I don't particularly dig. So yeah, I have genres I really dig. I like action, I like fantasy, I like RPGs, I like some platformers. What I don't particularly ever resonate with is sports games. NBA 2K21 did... I just like, that's an F for me. I'm sure it's exciting for fans of 2K. The very high definition trailer. So next came Bug Snacks. All I took from that is I don't want my hands to become strawberries. I saw from the creators of Octodad, and I was like, that explains the aesthetic. Really kind of did nothing for me. I just was like, alright, this is a C, moving on, next one. And then I lost my finger-licking mind. Demon Souls is getting ported to PS5? What? Like, I had heard there were rumors, but I wasn't expecting PlayStation 5. I was thinking maybe they'll throw it on PS4 towards the end of cycle or something. But holy crap. I was very excited for it. And it looks like gorgeous. It looks amazing. It looks like they just rebuilt everything from the ground up. Like, at first, I didn't recognize it for a while. My friend's like, I think it's a Demon Souls. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Then, I saw the big knight with a big shield, and there it was. Clear as day. Very excited for Demon Souls. I'm a big Souls fan. I don't know if you can see. Over here I have a bunch of Souls art from an artist I quite like. Link them in the description. Yeah, extremely excited for Demon Souls being ported to the or I guess HD remastered released. I don't know. It was just said Demon Souls. But I'm extremely excited for that. That immediately got like an A++++++++++. But again, it's Demon Souls, so I'm basing it off a game I already like. So as long as they don't ruin the port, I'm happy with it. Remake, remaster, what have you. I want more information, but I'm extremely excited. Then came another interesting game. It gave me echoes of BioShock. I saw it was from Bethesda, which made me raise an eyebrow. But Deathloop. A lot of the combat made me really think of BioShock. I felt like, oh, we're using vigors, that running and gunning sliding. Very interested, looks very high paced. I question if it's going to get repetitive. Because dying, restarting, reliving everything made me have question marks. Needless to say, I gave it a B. Very excited for that. Looks really fun. I just question if it's going to get repetitive or how much it's going to cost me for DLC to get features. Bethesda. Or if it's not, it's going to be held together with duct tape. Also a question I have. Is it going to be ripped open really quickly by anyone who can glitch into a wall? We're going to have to see. So the next game, I have very strong opinions on. And that would be Resident Evil 8. And where my bias towards Resident Evil wants to immediately give it an A. I gave it an A question mark. Because I was in the camp where I didn't necessarily believe the village rumors were real. For those of you that don't know, there were rumors going around that Resident Evil 8 was going to take place in like a European town with werewolves, and Ethan was going to be the protagonist again. And so all of that seemed very unrealistic for me coming off the back of Resident Evil 7, which was like, werewolves didn't relate to me as necessarily the vein of survival horror that Resident Evil normally occupies. Like, it sounded like a weird side game and not necessarily a numbered entry. And so the trailer started, and I was like, oh, this looks okay. This is interesting. I didn't pick up it was Ethan's voice at first. Caught it was first person. Certain aesthetics made me think, oh, that's kind of Resident Evil-y, but I was kind of dismissing it. Then, for a second, the Umbrella logo flashed. And then I immediately knew what I was working with. The setting lined up, everything lined up. And I kept saying, I cannot believe that the village rumor was real. Because in my wildest dreams, that didn't sound like a thing to me. I was like, nah, they wouldn't go that route. And they did. And Ethan's the protagonist. And I have very strong blurbing. Because I'm a huge Resident Evil 7 fan. I love that game. I've played it to death. I speedrun that game. I absolutely adore that game. It's not the best written. Not even the best speedrun. I know. But I don't know what it is. The game just clicked with me, and I love it. And I literally, just when I'm bored, I'll pick it up and just play through the whole game real quick. Just because I enjoyed how much I know of that game. So Ethan being the main character, I'm fine with. That first-person perspective, I'm fine with. I'm not one of those Resident Evil purists that's like, no, it has to be fixed camera angles. I need tank controls, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. If that's your shtick, you do you. That is fantastic. I personally am not a fan of tank controls. I know. I just upset the entire internet. I should be lit on fire. But in modern settings, I don't... Yes, it adds to the tension of, oh my god, I can't run away as quickly, and, you know, if you get really skilled with them, maneuvering, I guess, can be really engaging and fun, and that's great. You know, I've played through RE1, I've played through 2, I've played through 3 Nemesis, I've played through the remakes. I love Resident Evil, but I'm fine adapting to newer models. I don't mind the Switch first person, I don't mind it being in third person. I love RE2 Remake. I want to love RE3 Remake. If they'd give me more game to love. But yeah, I have very strong opinions, and most of my notes were, I'll just read them. MFing Ethan, I can't believe Village was real. Fucking werewolves? This was real? Did Chris just kill Mia? Pause. First off, Chris is buff again, so for those of you that was the shtick, congratulations. I don't care one way or another. I thought he looked a little awkward in 7, so I like his new design. Did he just cap Mia in the head 4 times, also making the Mia ending, I guess, canon? So that's interesting. Man, Ethan needs a break. You know, he went through this whole thing to save his wife, and then she just got capped in the head 4 times by Chris Redfield. Chris motherfucking Redfield. I'm a whirlwind of emotions for this game right now, just because I was in such disbelief that Village was going to be real. On top of, it has flavors of RE4, and there's a werewolf at the end, but it's not like a, unless he's in the middle of transforming into a full werewolf, it wasn't like a real werewolf. It was like a zombie who gets super buff werewolf kind of thing. I'm sure there's a movie that explains it a little bit. It kind of looks like an orc. Like a Middle-earth orc. Either way. Now, once I've gone back and watched that trailer like 5 times, and you can definitely see the aesthetic. I don't know. If somebody does know, let me know, because I want to know. Does it use the RE engine? Because it really didn't look like the RE engine to me. And I think not using it is such a weakness for me, because I have completely fallen in love with that engine. Between RE7, Devil May Cry 5, RE2 Make, RE3 Make. It's such a strong, robust engine that makes good-looking, realistic people, but where it doesn't feel too real, if that makes sense. And every use of it after RE7 has just improved on that and improved on it. and I would just hate it if they abandon it here. Big RE Engine fanboy. What can I say? Hey guys, Future John here. Yes, 100% can confirm it uses the RE engine. Capcom has officially stated it itself. And once I got good looks at high definition trailers, I convinced myself of that as well. On with the show. But yeah, so it's A with a question mark because I'm going to need to see gameplay. I'm going to need to see a lot more than what I did see to formulate a real opinion. But I am nonetheless very excited. I will definitely be playing it. I will most likely be learning to speedrun it, so I'm very excited about that. Oh, spit in my throat. Next came Pragmata. I gave it a B-, mostly because, again, we didn't really get a lot of gameplay. I like the aesthetic. It gave the suit, the space suit, the main character, I assume is the main character, unless you're playing as the little robot girl, gave me very Dead Space vibes, which is a plus for me. I'm a huge Dead Space fan. I like that whole aesthetic. Having said that, nothing else gives me Dead Space vibes. So take that concept, throw it out the window. It looked very surreal. You fall into space, which was very trippy to me, kind of Inception-y. I really don't know what to expect from it, but it looked very interesting. It looked very pretty, so I gave it a B-. I want to see more. Then I guess this is their big reveal. I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention to the right circles, but I did not know Horizon was getting a sequel. But I'm very happy it is. Horizon Zero Dawn is a fantastic game. I absolutely loved my time with that game, and Forbidden West looks amazing. The colors compared to like the settings in Zero Dawn, they're just popping. Like, I can't wait to see how that's going to look on a high definition TV with the powers of the PS5. Looks like a great marriage of technology and everything to me. I love dinosaurs. I love robot dinosaurs. I love prehistoric mammals. I love robotic prehistoric mammals. My previous gauge for that was Power Rangers, which I'm also a huge fan of. So that's a win-win-win for me. Yeah, I was just really excited the whole trailer. I was like, yes, we need more of this. This is what I want. Horizon, yes. And so that was pretty much it for the game reveals. I might have missed one. There were parts where I just was so excited for certain games that I may have missed the trailer after it. If that's the case, I'll either add or didn't catch my attention, so maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised by it later. After all that was out of the way, big moment. They finally revealed the PS5, the PlayStation 5. And I was not expecting it to have a helicopter and to have arms and rampage down the street blowing up things like the Xbox from Control Elite. Okay, no, but really, it's curvy, which I was very surprised with. I was not expecting curves. Having said that, I actually really liked the design. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's going to be able to be laid down on what I would normally assume is its base. Put sideways? Because I didn't see anywhere besides the actual base of the vertical design where there would be a base to it. That's repetitive talking, I know. It looked like it had vents for fans all the way around the front of it. So is it going to shoot the air at you? We'll see. It looks really interesting to me. I do like the design. I think the white is very bold. I really like the controller's design. Again, I like the white on it. I know some people weren't really big fans of that, but it caught me. I was like, that's a very bold, very futuristic design, and I really enjoyed that. It made me think of the console itself. Kind of looks like Midgar 2 from Final Fantasy VII Remake, if you know what that looks like. If I find a picture, I'll throw one up. It's just got that futuristic, curvy, like, future organic technology look to it, and I really dug that. I'm going to have to make room for it because I don't know if it's going to fit where my consoles normally live. So that's interesting. One thing I did like is if buying physical discs is not your shtick, there's a version that just doesn't even have a disc drive, which I'm imagining is actually going to be considerably cheaper. The big topic of backwards compatibility. I had been theorizing that I don't think they're going to do backwards compatibility. At best, we get PS4. Just for cost. Because you're adding components for a different disc reader at that point. Per generation, you're going backwards. But I thought it was possible, because we had a little bit of that in the past, where they've done releases of old games digitally, that we might get digital backwards compatibility. The opening where they showed the PS1 logo and everything made me kind of think maybe they were going to hint at doing some backwards compatibility. The fact that they're coming out with a version that lacks a disc drive kind of makes me believe that idea, where we might be getting digital backwards compatibility more so than if they hadn't. But again, they announced nothing in that regard, unless I missed it, in which case, let me know. Blow me up in the comments. So, to be fair, all my consoles still work. So, I'm not losing sleep over backwards compatibility. I'm always up for them making readily available, hard-to-play games. Like when they did the HD ports for .hack GU. Like when Rogue Galaxy got ported to PS4. Was it on PS3 too? Might have been on PS3 too. I don't remember. But these really good games that I really enjoyed, that I absentmindedly traded in or what have you, or you bought 4 copies of them and none of them work on your PS2. Rogue Galaxy, I'm looking at you. I think just for the sake of getting access to harder to get your hands on games, I think that would be the biggest appeal to me for that. But I guess we'll have to just wait and see. Anyway, that's it for my quick, impulsive overview of the PS5 Future of Gaming announcement. Do you think it's really the future of gaming? I was really impressed by some of the things I've seen. I'd like to know what other people thought. Let me know down in the comments below. And otherwise, that'll be it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Dislike if you like too, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinions. You are valid as a person. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You want to see more of the stuff we do here? I stream Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Haha, time's changed. 4 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time. Currently, we're doing the year of Final Fantasy, so we're playing through all the Final Fantasy titles from 1 to when I'm done. I'm playing the versions with the most content. So for 1 and 2, that means the 20th anniversary editions. Otherwise, you stay cool, and I'll see you guys in the next video.